Greetings everyone, it's Percival here with another video, and this is a transcript of the Clark Stacey Ask Me Anything channel. This was done within the official fer.al Discord server. This document is a transcription of WildWorks CEO Clark Stacey's AMA event that occurred in the official fer.al Discord server on November 27, 2021. During this, he answered questions on Cinder, a new project in development by WildWorks, as well as speaking on some other topics. The purpose of this document is to make the answers that were given easily accessible to others who may not be able to access the Discord server, such as being too young, or just, I know Discord has some accessibility issues, as well as format it in a way that makes it easier to understand and read. Questions are their own separate headings, so if you open the document outline, you should be able to access a specific question quickly by clicking on it in the outline. And small grammatical or formatting edits have been made to provide extra clarity. I believe this was done by one of the moderators of the official fer.al Discord. So Clark opens with, "Hey everyone, let me start out explaining why this was announced to the fer.al community first, despite the fact that the new game Cinder is not being developed for the fer.al audience and will not be promoted to you. The reason why we announced it to fer.al social first, and the reason I'm here, is because I'm well aware of the strong feeling many of you have about NFTs and crypto, and many of you have been kind enough to share your thoughts with me over the past few months while we research this space. You deserve to hear about it first, and to have a forum to talk about it directly with me. I had a pretty good idea that the reaction to this announcement would be very negative. I've tried to anticipate some of your questions in the Medium article we posted, which is just a load of pro-crypto bullshit. A lot of questions about what this means for the future of fer.al. We work on new games and new ideas all the time. Game companies have to. Doing so doesn't mean we're abandoning fer.al. Now, keep in mind, I think they've got about 90 employees. Over 90? Hang on, let's look this up. "94 employees. This is via pitchbook.com. I understand the environmental concerns. They're the reason why we never considered this technology in games before. I've explained why we chose the Solana network in the Medium article. The fact is, energy usage there is better in most cases than the other online payment methods we already support. Our environmental commitment hasn't changed. Regarding the audience, appropriateness for kids, etc., Cinder isn't for kids, neither is fer.al actually. I'm just going to break off here. fer.al is marketed towards 16-year-olds. 16-year-old girls in specific from Clark. That's Clark Stacey's words themselves, because he has a 16-year-old kid. Now, 16-year-olds are legally considered minors, right? So therefore, they are technically children, no matter how much he thinks otherwise. I'm not sure if he's American or British or whatever, but 16-year-olds are legally considered minors. Anyways, back to this. It won't be marketed to kids or to the fer.al audience. I do not think games that have real cryptocurrency trading are appropriate for kids. Unfortunately, the wallets used for storing NFTs and accessing Cinder are additional gateways, or rather have additional gateways to prevent kids from accessing it. And then we go into the questions. Question: what creative uses of NFTs do you have planned for Cinder aside from user-generated content, otherwise known as UGC? The answer is, that's the main initial attraction for me, letting players earn what they create in a new way. Question: isn't this all about making money? Answer: of course it is. WildWorks is a business and businesses have to make money. Some businesses do that any way they can, and others try to do it in ways that provide real value to customers and are socially responsible. I wouldn't be involved with WildWorks if it wasn't one of the latter. We've invested over 2 years and $6 million into fer.al. Our intention has always been to build this into a business that recoups that investment and makes enough to pay our employees, grow the game, and invest in new games. My interest in blockchain gaming is the idea that players can own and control what they create in the game. Amazing avatars and sanctuaries have been created in fer.al by you, not by us. I think it would be cool if you could own what you create and even make money from it yourself if you choose to. When blockchains became capable of executing code, we saw how that could happen. And when blockchains like Solana emerged that are environmentally sustainable, we saw that we could make it happen without violating our principles. Question. Hi Clark, is the server database going to be the only thing kept on the blockchain, and can you consider a way of showing off energy usage within the Solana blockchain versus something that the player base could understand? Answer. This is valuable context, I think. Then there's just links to the Solana energy usage report, November 2021, from Solana themselves. As I've stated before, I much rather trust an electricity company's energy report on their servers and such, because they're the ones that know exactly how many units they're using of electricity. And then Clark speaks on the anticipated negative reaction from the community. Yes, I had a pretty good idea that the reaction to this announcement would be very negative. I've tried to anticipate some of your questions in the Medium article we posted. Here are a few more points to establish at the outset. The Cinder division of WildWorks will not distract from the core missions behind our games for younger audiences like Animal Jam and fer.al. Cinder is not being built and marketed for the fer.al community. The target demographic for Cinder is more akin to that of Axie Infinity, Sandbox, Blanco's Block Party, etc. Our commitment to environmental conservation has not changed. We hadn't considered blockchain technology for gaming until the emergence of systems like Solana and Wax, which use less energy than many of the online payment systems we use currently. If we can't do this while continuing to lower the company's carbon footprint overall, we won't be in the crypto gaming business. Question. So you're making a cryptocurrency game because you want more money. What the fuck? You understand how wrong that is? If you make good games that people like, they will sustain themselves. You do not have to make stuff like this to satisfy your money greedy needs. Answer. If that was true, I wouldn't be in the business of kids' games in the first place. Breaking off here. Cinder isn't a kids' game, yet he says that he's in the business of kids' games in the first place. What? Clark, make it make sense. Anyways, back to the thing. It's the hardest segment of the industry, which is why so few companies survive there. We want to build all of our games into businesses that sustain themselves. We invest huge sums in our creative team, and it takes money to keep doing that. With millions of dollars invested in fer.al, we're continuing with it because it's an important project and we see a path to it becoming self-sustaining. We won't apologise for trying to create games that make money and keep us with these communities, though. It is how we say in business. The rub is doing it ethically and with value to our customers. That is where my priority has been and will remain. Question. Again, with all due respect, I would like to bring up the act that you claimed in your article that Cinder will be entirely separate from fer.al and Animal Jam and thus won't have any effect on them or their player base. But I would say that the server's outrage has already proved you wrong. Not to mention, Cinder is, and I quote, drawing up on scaffolding of fer.al and draws upon visual elements and locations fer.al players will recognise. That, to me and other members of this community, seems quite contradictory. Pardon. You did claim that this was not marketed towards us fer.al players. The answer is I'm not here to market Cinder to you guys. I'm here because I knew it would upset many of you and I wanted you to hear about it from us directly first and hopefully answer the why questions. Question. Will funds spent on fer.al/Animal Jam go to funding Cinder? The answer is the opposite is much more likely. I'm just going to break off here for a moment. I highly doubt this. I really fucking doubt this. Because we don't have Cinder up and running right now. WildWorks does not have Cinder up and running. Not right now, anyways. And we don't really see how much fer.al has actually made. We don't see how much Animal Jam has made. And we won't be able to see how much Cinder has made. And it's just, we're not exactly able to compare. Back to the thing. Question. Will you make a single statement that actually addresses concerns, or do you plan to just repeat, no, it's not for kids, but it is for kids, but it's not for money, except it's totally for money. It's not harmful, it's just a little harmful. The answer, it is not for kids. We make games that we hope we make money. We make games that we hope make money. It's how we keep making games. And then he claims, I don't know what you mean by harmful. Environmentally, read the Medium article, read the Solana white paper. It's less impactful to carbon emissions than the credit card networks we use now. Again, I don't trust that. Question. I've been taking a college class over blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies this semester from my degree. Will Cinder explain why the Solana blockchain is cryptographically secure, or will the details remain hidden from the end users? Answer. The beauty of most blockchains is that all of that information is public. Then he links to some documents from Solana. I'm very disappointed here, because some of us won't be able to understand technical jargon that goes into most of the information on the blockchains. Some of us need simpler explanations, especially teenagers that are just, especially kids. Back to the thing. Question. Recently, Neopets, another beloved childhood game, attempted to mint NFTs to work with its game. The project was an abject failure. The plan was for 2,000 to be made. The company only made 1,000, and they didn't even sell all of them. What makes you think that Cinder will work better? Answer. Cinder is not a children's game, and we are not taking characters from people's childhoods and turning them into NFTs. Question. Again, if you knew Cinder would be upsetting and have a mostly negative reaction, then why did you go through with it? Answer. Again, it wasn't developed for this audience. Out of respect for this audience, many of whom have been good enough to discuss their concerns with me over the past few months, we are talking to you about it first. We're trying to be as forthcoming with you as possible, in part because I knew this decision would create a lot of rancor in the community. They haven't really communicated whether or not they're working on the Sky Jelly bug, which I've experienced myself. They haven't communicated. They don't even have a roadmap up in fer.al Discord, I don't think. It's just frustrating. Back to the thing. Question. What inspired this new game? Answer. The advent of green blockchain tech that can run code, enabling new ways to give players control over what virtual world they feel invested in. Question. Who is Cinder's target audience? Answer. The target demographic for Cinder is more akin to that of Axie Infinity, the Sandbox, Blanco's Block Party, etc. Question. What messages will you be trying to share with said new game? Answer. That blockchain tech can be part of the solution for climate change instead of part of the problem. But this type of game can be made ethically with player utility first. That we can influence how this tech grows in the world and make it something positive. Question. Can we see concepts or any new information on it at all? Answer. Yes, soon. Question. How long has this been in development for? Answer. Many months. Breaking away from this for a bit. On the Cinder website, which is at cinder.io, I've mentioned that they've actually been testing this for about 2 years, as well as being a direct asset flip of fer.al. All of the trailer stuff on the cinder.io website is stuff taken from fer.al. Back to the thing. Question. How much money raised from season passes, star fragments, etc. in fer.al went into fer.al? How much went into the development of Cinder? Answer. None. fer.al is still a long way from recouping the investment we've made into it from the beginning. fer.al revenue is keeping fer.al open while we work on its issues and your requests. Breaking away from this for a bit, they still have not fixed the sky jelly bug. They still haven't fixed the bug that allows me to rotate at light speed if I press a movement key while digging a burrow. And they still haven't tweaked the airship's pigment stuff. Because with the current sky jelly bug, as well as the resources being PvP instead of player versus environment, it's impossible to get that much pigment, especially rich and vivid pigments. Okay, back to the document. Question: why are you dragging us into it if you said multiple times we are not target audience? You expect backlash from us and you are trying to peddle it to us. I simply fail to understand the logic behind any of this. Answer: would you really have preferred to see a press release about this new game without WildWorks giving you the prior respect of an explanation or forum to ask questions? Questions which he barely answers. I understand this community is not drawn to the mechanics behind play-to-earn games. I'm not trying to sell you on it. Question: if Cinder is to fail, there is no room for any other hypotheticals, what would happen to the blockchain as well as to the NFTs and the owners of said NFTs? Would the property then be owned by WildWorks, or would the users have it as their own property? What would be the process to this? Answer: Cinder NFTs exist independently of the game world on the Solana blockchain. Their ownership would continue. Question: why is Cinder being developed right now when fer.al is in such an early and buggy state? Answer: that is a fair question. The short answer is because we want fer.al to get to a point where ongoing development is self-sustaining. Right now we invest more in it than we make. That doesn't mean we're abandoning it. It means that the company needs multiple revenue streams to sustain projects like fer.al that aren't self-sustaining yet. Question: is Cinder using existing fer.al assets, or is this from the ground up a new game set in the same universe? Answer: it is using the technology platform we built for fer.al, and initially many existing fer.al assets. It has already diverged considerably, and the heritage won't be obvious soon after launch. This is a complete and utter lie. On the Cinder.io website, they're using outright, it's just an asset flip. They're trying to market to you a bloody game about NFTs that is a complete and utter asset flip. I mean, hell, I think the Fae in the Cinder are actually just ripped off from the Fae in the fer.al, or Shinigami. It's likely they're using the same body mesh, but I don't work at WildWorks, so I can't tell you. Anyways, question: how do you plan on preventing botting, account theft, or other malicious activities that take advantage of users? Answer: in order to connect to Cinder, you need to connect a crypto wallet containing a Cinder avatar. These wallets are protected by 25-word seed phrases and extremely strong encryption. If they originate in the US, they are also protected by UA/KYC black banking law, which means for fuck's sake, nobody under 18 will be able to validate one. I highly doubt they'll actually be able to up the security on Cinder because they've had multiple account and data breaches on Animal Jam and hackers. God damn. Question: please answer questions about updates on your other games. Will they ever be updated after Cinder? Answer: our commitment to our other games is undiminished. We created a new division within WildWorks to explore crypto gaming. While we've been chatting here, I saw that Apple just approved the latest Animal Jam update. Our existing games are what most WildWorks folks are working on. Question: can you or can you not provide unbiased, peer-reviewed reports on the environmental benefits of using Solana? We have yet to see an actual credible source from you. Solana is answer. Solana is audited by Robert Murphy, and their energy use reports are validated by his organisation. Read the report and the footnotes. This goes to something on Solana's website, and it's just the energy use report from Solana themselves. Again, I'd much rather trust the electric companies. Question. Clark Stacey, less of a question about Cinder and more of a general question. You guys at WildWorks actually care about the feral or animal jam communities. Why would you make a decision like this, knowing we would be completely against it? Answer. I have devoted the past 12 plus years of my life to those communities. Not because they were in the most profitable segment of the games industry, but because I strongly believe what we do there is important. I acknowledge that many in the feral community hate this decision and want nothing to do with it. That's why we separated the division to explore this in a completely new game. I believe new technologies are made to serve people when responsible companies engage with them and push them in the right direction. Pardon. Hoping that blockchain tech and cryptocurrency goes away isn't going to make it happen. There's too much utility there, too many important problems it can solve. If it's going to become a part of our lives anyway, pushing it from within the right direction is how it comes to serve us. Oh, so does he mean normalising it to the average end user? Despite the fact that it's environmentally impactful, it uses rare materials to make those supercomputers that run in blockchains and mining stuff on the blockchains. Question. How will we be able to trust WildWorks security with something as serious as crypto when your company has had numerous breaches, hackers, and poor account security? Don't you think you should focus on your current games and judge your security before your audience gives you their important financial information? Just a quick note, they also require you to give your social security number to them to make a cryptocurrency wallet with Solana, I think. Answer. We continue to invest in security infrastructure for AJ and Feral, Animal Jam and Feral, and we've made a lot of progress in the past year. That won't stop. Yes, we still have work to do. Cinder does not detract from that. In fact, some of the infrastructure developed for Cinder will ultimately help secure our other games. Question. Are you not viewing any other sources besides pro crypto ones? That's a horrible way to start anything, and I sincerely hope that there's much more to this than just you only feeding off of what you'd like to hear. You need unbiased and credible sources, not ones that are sponsored and all encouraged by the parent company. Answer. Actually, I spend a lot of time reading crypto skeptics. This be more educational when it's research based at least. Share your sources with me. Despite not having any open channels on communication. Yeah, just share your sources with him. Pretty sure his Twitter's private at the moment. I've been gathering as many as I can. I'm always happy to challenge my assumptions and hopefully learn. Question. Are you aware that blockchains/NFTs have been used to scam artists specifically? How will you protect artists that are going to be the main sellers in this game when anyone can go and grab assets from games using asset rippers and just resell their work? How will you moderate this game and make sure people get what they paid for and artists credited and paid when it's so easy to steal things to resell? This is a question about art theft. Answer. I discussed this more in depth in Medium article, but yes, I know people have stolen artwork, tokenized it, and sold it as their own NFTs. It's reprehensible. They've also done that with every other technology that has democratized media creation, from cassette tapes to YouTube. NFTs can offer solutions to this. In Cinder, when a player creation is tokenized, it can be verified as unique against blockchain and ownership is traceable. Artists will be able to sell those creations if they choose, and the revenue goes directly to them. I don't have any solutions for marketplaces for NFTs that don't protect artists. We need regulation in place and it's coming. Already reputable marketplaces like OpenSea and Solana are implementing systems for takedown notices and artist protection. I can, however, make sure that our marketplace safeguards artist creativity. Question: why were alternative blockchains not investigated? If my research is wrong, do correct me. This is all available by rudimentary Google searches. Answer: they were and continue to be. Solana was chosen for its energy efficiency, its commitment to carbon neutrality by the end of 2021, and its smart contract functionality. Question: Clark, you said in the medium you sent a while ago that, direct quote, NFTs have the ability to totally flip the table and put control in the hands of players and creators. This was when you were comparing Roblox to NFTs, saying that the Roblox company gets 75% of players' profits, and then pointing out that with NFTs, you, the player, get all the profits. If this is true, how are you earning money? Answer: two ways. Initially, we'll be minting unique avatar NFTs to raise money to develop out the Cinder roadmap. When the marketplace launches, players will be able to create and tokenize their own avatars, social spaces, etc. If they choose to trade them in our marketplace, we'll take around 4% of that transaction, with 96% going to the artist. We will also be able to collect downstream royalties from the initial drop of original NFTs we do. Question: will you confirm that you will look into the child gambling issue? It is a growing problem around the world, and Animal Jam Play Wild has been receiving more and more gambling features. Answer: I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I promise I will investigate it, including your link. How the fuck is he not sure what the person is referring to? He's the one that oversees all that. He's the CEO of WildWorks. Surely he'd have some control over what gets added to the game and what gets cut. Question: the majority of the active feral player base are quitting and refusing to support the game due to the announcement of Cinder. What will you do about this? Answer: if that happens, I hope despite our disagreement, those players will continue to watch what we do in the crypto gaming space and judge us based on that. I know I will never convince many that this technology can be leveraged in a way that is sustainable, ethical, and beneficial to players. We will have to demonstrate it. In my experience, people come around when your demonstration is legitimate. Look at the climate change people. They've been demonstrating that we're all going to fucking die soonish if we don't reverse the fucking climate change and get carbon emissions down. They're still climate change skeptics. What a load of shite. Question: you said you would investigate the gambling aspect. Time to investigate the predator aspect too. When will we get further information on that? Answer: if you have information about predators operating in our games, I would urge you to report them, not just to our staff, but to law enforcement. We work very closely with the FBI and NCMEC. Every report we can substantiate is pursued with law enforcement. Question: why were cultural representation issues in fer.al never addressed? You butchered the Kokoshnik. Apologies if I got that pronunciation wrong. By naming the Matryoshka hat, while also never bothering to put Slavic mythology or cultural elements in fer.al. You've also misrepresented Mayan culture multiple times. There's also countless other instances present in fer.al. The least you could have done was made an inspiration decks where people could see the real-life culture/item it was based off of. Answer: that's a very good idea. Clark, that's not a fucking answer. There's also so many cultural representation and appropriation issues within Animal Jam. You have the headdresses, those belong to natives. I'm honestly not sure what tribe in specific they belong to, but usually the chief of the people wears them. Why the fuck are headdresses in the game in the first place? Apparently all they've done about that is make sure that no more headdresses are produced. They can't remove them from the game because players have paid for them via buying membership. However, by making sure that no more headdresses are produced, they become a really fucking valuable item. It's just disappointing. Plus, there's also the issue of my folk food in Feral being based on Asian food, and the players forced to reaction to it being ew, or that's so fucking gross, or something along those lines. Asian food is actually pretty fucking good. I haven't tried much of it, but Jesus fucking Christ. At least make the reactions neutral. Honestly. Question. Clark, would you be able to wait until Solana is nearly completely environmentally friendly if you do this? Answer. It's why we're doing it now. Cinder will not begin minting until the end of the year, when Solana has reached its carbon neutral goal. Question. I cannot change your opinion alone, but many people don't want this game at all. Fuck. Oops, sorry. I had to go drink something. And eat. Anyways, you are simply ignoring the people who line your wallets with money, the only audience who would actually think of playing Cinder. Answer. If that was true, I wouldn't be here with you now. Again, this is not the audience for Cinder. I've described the Cinder demographic already. I'm not here to change your opinions about NFTs. I'm here because I respect this community and think they deserve to understand our reasoning behind this choice. Yes, I am aware that we may lose many of you as supporters of WildWorks. That's not my intention, and I hope our actions will prove our intentions. But I am well aware of the risk, and yes, I care a great deal about that, or I wouldn't be here talking to you. My 16-year-old daughter is the quintessence of the fer.al community. We're doing this because I believe ultimately we will be serving our audience better and be better able to support all of our games, including fer.al. Question. Clark, I have to worry about how money will be handled with this game. As we know, when games need money, usually they will have microtransactions. Microtransactions can be very predatory to its audience with its own schemes to further push the human psyche to buy. And I'm sure crypto transactions will be no different in basic sense. Answer. I agree, microtransactions can be very predatory. Then why the fuck do you have microtransactions in your games? The goal with Cinder is to have any purchase provide real lasting value and even the potential for a return. Question. Why didn't you just implement the idea of selling your creations such as sanctuaries and avatars by doing so fer.al star fragments? Answer. See previous questions about security. Incentivizing hackers to attack our existing games by putting real money asset sales into them will not benefit players. Question. There's so much evidence to suggest that Solana isn't as environmentally stable as they're made out to be. Are you aware of this or not? Answer. No, but I'd welcome any information you have. Yeah, I have a stutter. Don't fucking comment about stutter. I'm self-conscious. Anyways. Question. Not only that, headdresses and head feathers continue to be in the game. In fact, players refuse to acknowledge that they're cultural appropriation when you tell them and they act mean about it. It's not like WildWorks is doing anything about it either. Answer. This is pretty far afield, but I'm seeing a lot of on-topic questions that I've already answered, so I'll try to address it. Assuming you're referring to headdresses in Animal Jam Classic, we were contacted by Native American players who found these offensive, and they educated us about their cultural significance. It was ignorant of us to have put them in game, and we acknowledged at the time. But we also couldn't go in and delete them all from the people who'd acquired them. We discussed this with the native tribe members who contacted us, and agreed a solution would be to stop making them and promoting them in the game, but let those in circulation remain there until they fell out through attrition. That's what we did, and while I'm sorry to say not all of them have fallen out of Animal Jam Classic, they are diminishing steadily. It's not a perfect solution. It was a stupid thing for us to put in the game, born of our ignorance. They could have just reimbursed the people that bought hairdressers. But no, the two. It's just stupid. God. They deliberately did cultural appropriation just to make more money, I guess. This has been a thing that's been going on for years. Back to the document. Question. The way blockchain and cryptocurrency works inherently rewards high energy users and users with existing wealth. In proof of stake systems, you're still rewarded for having more devices on the blockchain, all devices that will consume energy. Answer. That is true of proof of work systems. Proof of stake validators don't increase their reward by having more devices on the blockchain. 1,000 validators Solana already has is more than enough to handle much greater volume that they get. Proof of stake validators are rewarded for being reliable and trustworthy, and thus selected more often to validate. Regarding the idea that the biggest wallets control the network, the assumption being made is that because validators are certified by how many coins are staked against them, those who hold the most coins are naturally the validators and hold all the power. Functionally, that's not how it works. Anyone can stake their coins and delegate the validators they deem trustworthy. The validators that wind up doing the processing are those the entire ecosystem decides are most trustworthy. Larger holdings have a bigger vote, but if they stake a large amount, that just means they have more to lose if the validator tries to do anything shady or unsafe on the blockchain. The big holdings don't get to decide when they lose coins because they backed a malicious validator. That happens when any manipulation happens on the publicly visible blockchain. A pyramid scheme is where the people on the bottom carry all the risk and funnel the rewards to the people at the top. There's no pyramid here. The biggest holders have the most at risk to lose, and validators are chosen by the entire structure. Question. We haven't gotten a lot of information on actual gameplay or what Cinder will look like. Answer. As already discussed, I'm not here to promote Cinder. More information will be announced in the coming week. Question. End of 2021 and its smart contract functionality. Then you were asked about if you actually knew about Solana's environmental costs. No, but I'd welcome any information you have. Answer. No, but I was asked if I was aware of any information contradicting the data in Solana's energy report. I am not, but I will certainly review it if it's offered. The question got cut off by mistake, I think. Nobody knows where the hell the full question is. It'll probably be added into the document in time. Once it's found, anyways. Closing remarks. Several of you have asked about data from independent sources relating to Solana's environmental impact. I will provide these footnotes and follow-ups to the Medium article. Thank you for participating in this. I hope you'll look back over the answers if you feel something was missed, and if it was, I will attempt to address it in follow-up articles or AMAs. Thank you for playing our games. I know this is a very controversial decision, but it's made in order to sustain the work we're doing to support all of our game communities. My goal is to see fer.al and Animal Jam grow in depth and features in the coming year, and for Cinder to prove to its skeptics that blockchain gaming can be done well in ways that benefits players beyond what a simple database can do. The proof will be in what we do, I know. For those of you inclined to withhold judgment until you see it, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. That's about it. A lot of questions weren't actually answered, they're just given Well, this is for you answer. If you, God, I'm sort of mad about this, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. Not the person compiling the stuff together. I mean, I'm mad about how Clark did not answer any questions. Not properly, anyways. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching.